All right, so now on to the yellow and red challenge by choice. I figured I would start with number 1. So you can see that these are 2-step equations, unlike up here for the green challenge by choice, it was just 1-step equations. So not only do you need to locate your variable, but you also need to ask yourself, okay, before I attack this right here, I need to get rid of what's next to it, okay? So remember, I always said you have to get rid of all the stuff around it first. So how do I get rid of a plus 4? I minus 4. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So this is going to cancel out. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down your equal sign. Bring down your r divided by 10. So r divided by 10 equals 1. Sorry, I don't know why I put that so far away. In order to get rid of divided by 10, we're going to need to multiply by 10. Those will cancel out. What I do to one side, I do to the other. I'm just, just left with the r equals 1 times 10 is 10. All right, over to number 3. I figured I would do one of these types of equations too. Locate your variable. Okay, so your variable and the coefficient with it, or the number with it, is right here. I need to get rid of everything that's next to it first before I attack this. So that would be this minus 2. I need to get rid of a minus 2. How do I do that? I plus 2. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So not only did I think that this was a good example because there's no division like the other one, but we have a negative and a positive that we are trying to combine. So I'm going to bring down my 3p before I do that, bring down my equal sign. Now, you have more negatives than you do positives. 29 is more than 2. So your answer is going to be negative. Then you do big minus little. 29 minus 2 is 27. If you are negative 29 and you need to go in the positive, so less negative, by 2 spaces, it will bring you to negative 27. All right, now I can get rid of this 3 that's next to the p. We have 3 times p, so how do I undo times? I divide. Now remember, you're not dividing by 3p. You want the p to stay, you just want the 3's to go away, or the 3 to go away. So you divide by 3 here. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. You have p left over here. Going to bring down my equal sign. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Okay. Now this one might be a little bit tricky because you might say, okay, here's the variable. Oh, don't mind my dog. That's probably starting to bark, but I have my variable here. What I want to do is get rid of the divided by 2 first, okay, so that I can just have my k minus 10 by itself. How do I get rid of a divided by 2? You have to multiply by 2. And when you do that, this cancels out. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So I'm left with k minus 10. Bring down my equals. Negative 7 times 2. Negative times a positive is a negative. 7 times 2 is 14. Now, I want to solve for k, so I need to get rid of this minus 10. How do I get rid of a minus 10? I need to plus 10. All right, this cancels out. I'm left with k equals negative 14 plus 10. You have more negatives than you do positives, so your answer is going to be negative. And then you do big minus little. 14 minus 10 would be 4. So your k equals negative 4. Now over here, I thought that this was a good one to try because I saw that I had a negative 9 over here and a negative 9 over here. And you'll see exactly why I wanted to show you how to do this one in a second. So I located my variable for n right here. I need to get rid of the minus 9 first. How do I get rid of minus 9? Well, I have to plus 9. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Now, negative 9 plus 9 is 0. That's why it cancels out. So not only is it going to cancel out or equal 0 here, but it's going to equal 0 here. You have negative 9 plus 9. Now, over here, you didn't need to write just the 0. You can just cancel the whole thing out because you have a 4n. So it's not like it's leaving the whole side empty. There's still 4n on this side. But because this side of the equation would have nothing else if you didn't write the 0. You do have to write the 0. All right, now how do we solve for n? Well, we have 4 times n. Well, anybody who has kind of mastered this whole anything equaling 0 is going to be 0 will notice that even if I divide by 4 here, divide by 4, if you have nothing, you cannot divide by 4. You know, you can't break nothing into smaller parts. It's already nothing. So this will cancel out. You'll get n equals, still you just have 0. Okay? A couple more. So I have this divided by 2, all right, that I want to get rid of so that I can have my negative 4 plus x. In order to get rid of the divided by 2, I need to times by 2. So times by 2 gets rid of that. Negative 4 plus x is still left on this side of the equation. I'm going to copy down my equals sign. Bring down my 6 times 2 is 12, so bring down my 12. Now I have negative 4 plus x. I want my x by itself. How do I get rid of this negative 4 next to it? Plus 4. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Negative 4 plus 4 cancels out. So I just have a positive x. You don't need to write the plus sign, just the x, equals 12 plus 4, which is 16. All right. Over here, identify or locate where your variable is. You cannot attack this n divided by 3 until you get rid of this minus 5. How do I get rid of a minus 5? Plus 5. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. No, we can't help you right now. Sorry. This cancels out. You've got n divided by 3 equals 0 plus 5 is 5. Now you can attack this. N divided by 3. We want to get rid of divided by 3. How do we do that? We times by 3. What you do to one side, you do to the other. This cancels out. You get n equals 5 times 3 is 15. And you're done. Last but not least, here is my variable. I cannot get rid of the negative 12 until I get rid of the plus 4. I got to get rid of all the stuff around it before I attack this negative 12r. Minus 4. This cancels out. I'm going to bring down my negative 12r because I haven't done anything with it yet. I got rid of this. Bring down my equals sign. 100 minus 4 is 96. Now I can attack this. Okay, negative 12 times r. So I'm going to divide by negative 12. I'm left with r equals, divide by negative 12. Well, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. And let's see, how many times does 12 go into 96? Is it 8? I think it's 8. All right. So you are done. If you have any questions, feel free to text me or you can email me. Good luck.